All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another SandStorm Meetup. Today, I am joined by the team over at Cosmic Factions. How are y'all doing today?
Hi.
I
Hey, hey.
appreciate I appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Are you asking us or are you asking the community?
Oh no, I was asking you guys. I was asking you guys.
Wow, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you.
I
Oh, great.
appreciate you. I appreciate you guys coming on the show today. Talk to me about Cosmic Factions. Well, before I get into it, I like to do a little bit of an introduction for people watching that might not know you guys personally. You know how you got into Web3 and what role you play on the Cosmic Factions team.
Yep, sounds good. First of all, thank you for having us. Um,
Absolutely.
and yeah, so pretty much let me maybe start on how actually Cosmic Factions, the idea, came to life. So pretty much we have a VC background, so we worked with a lot of projects actually in the past. I mean, even early, before gaming, Web3 gaming actually even started, really being hyped and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, we had quite a lot of projects actually trying to get into the NFT space, doing something with gaming and so on. And that just led to us acquiring a relatively big, or maybe mid-size, let's say, game artist team. So we started actually doing just some smaller things for them. But with time, there were more and more projects reaching out to us, either gaming or NFTs and so on. And there was obviously some flaws, with the whole play to earn structure and so on, how sustainable it is and everything. And this kind of sparked the idea of Cosmic Factions. So it didn't really came at once. It was kind of a evolutionary step. We just saw, what the issues are, what the flaws, where, we can get a good fit and, how actually to help the space evolve furthermore. And that's pretty much, how it came to be in a nutshell.
Nice, nice. And was there a specific game, I guess, that you saw that first piqued your interest in the Web3 space? Like, was there a specific game that stuck out at first?
Well, the thing is, there were rumors actually about a lot of Web 2 games being interested into the Web 3 space, but I can't even really point to the one. There was one actually quite in the beginning. I can't remember which one it was, but we know that never happened actually, and that kind of raised the question, why are they not doing the next step? Why are they not getting in? Maybe those were only rumors anyway, but definitely, after sometimes you saw that actually, like with Roblox,
Mhm.
with Epic Games, the demand is there definitely.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And is it Anita or Aneta? Am I saying how am I saying that?
I'm Aneta.
Aneta. Okay. And what role on the Cosmic Faction team do you play?
I'm the COO at the Cosmic Factions. And so basically I've been in crypto for around 6 years,
Oh wow.
but professionally I only joined in the beginning of last year when I joined Vladen, and since then we've been working together. So so this is how we actually started the Cosmic Factions as well. Maybe maybe Vladen wants to I don't know, tell you details. I don't know.
Yeah, so pretty much it was for our VC company first.
Mhm.
So this is how it came to be. And yeah, this is actually how the whole team met. Although Aneta was there way before the idea of Cosmic Factions even sparked. So pretty much from the very, very beginning.
Nice, nice. And speaking of Cosmic Factions, you guys are. I believe I was reading. You're wanting to help Web 2 games that want to move over to Web 3, correct?
Exactly.
And
Um,
oh yeah, you go ahead.
Yep. So pretty much what we're doing actually is we're developing an infrastructure or platform where really every single Web 2 game that is built on Godot, that's one important thing,
Mhm.
can easily deploy on our platform and transition over to the Web 3 space. There are no limitations in terms of game style and designs. So we have interoperable avatars, which will be able to be used in all the different games. However, of course, there might be some games that are uh, pretty much our avatars don't fit them and so on. So it's not a fixed requirement. It's something cool that we'll try to implement as much as possible. Of course, not every game out of the batch will be able to support NFTs and so on. So we'll make the process as smooth as possible for the games that want to adopt NFTs. If not, then there's the token structure which will be implemented by default for every game. So pretty much it then really depends on the game developers that moved over, that give it a try, how far they want to take it. But the basics will be implemented immediately, straight off the bat.
Nice, nice. And you mentioned that it is games that are being built on the Godot engine, correct?
Yes.
Why specifically Godot? What made you guys choose that engine?
So pretty much in the beginning, one of the things that we um, wanted to do actually is have a strong partner on our side, or pretty much someone we can work with, and you have pretty much Unreal and Unity, which are doing their own things. They're not really that interested to work with, other companies in terms of this because they're building their own Web3 structures.
Yeah.
So we went and looked actually at other engines, and the third largest one immediately was the Godot engine. So
Mm-hmm.
we reached out to them. We talked to them actually. We talked to the two co-founders, and even one of them, Ariel Manzur, joined us as advisor. And that's also where we discovered actually, because Godot is open source platform and it's a non-profit organization, which means that you can technically build games in Godot and then port them for third parties actually to the consoles. But the process is a bit more complex than just what you would do with Unity or Unreal. Probably part of the reason is that they're not taking any shares or something like that. No profit cuts, so it's fully open source, fully everything that you're building there belongs to you. However, there was this actual issue that there was no native platform, and that's also where we saw opportunity. Just to become that platform. Where you can straight off the bat, like you have, for example, Epic Games for Unreal Engine, straight off the bat, just go and deploy your games there.
Okay. So yeah, you guys are wanting to be like a Steam essentially, like Steam or an Epic Games.
Exactly. That's what we're going to do. And basically, yeah. So I think it's important to mention that there are many metaverses built on Unity or Unreal Engine, but just a couple of them built on top of Godot. So that's developers working with Godot left behind. And this is why I think it's important to bring some solutions for them as well on the market.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to a bunch of projects on here, and yeah, most of them are built either Unreal Engine or Unity. And it's amazing that you guys are you talk to the founders and you guys are partnering essentially with them, to help bring these games into the Web3 space. I guess what are some different things I guess that you would do for a game developer? Say they come to you and they're wanting to get on their game on the blockchain. What essentially what's that process like? What do you guys do?
So pretty much the process is meant to be as simple as possible. Obviously, a lot of people, especially the Web2 game developers, that might never, worked on something Web3 related and so on. So this is why we want the process to be as smooth as possible. So this is why basically to deploy and just implement the basic features, it will be kind of just like 3 to 5 clicks. And that's it. Of course, you need to deploy the game. So there's the upload time and so on. But pretty much, it should be as simple as possible. Then, if they want to take it a step further and so on, we'll take the most common ways, in which games are built, just to make it as easy as possible to go further with NFTs, with avatars. So just make it for them really as easy as possible. On the other side, that's not the only thing we're doing, obviously. We also will have our whole set of tools that will allow game developers to directly build on Cosmic Factions. And it's not, sorry, I expressed myself wrongly. It's not only for game developers, actually for everyone, because what we're building actually are just drag and drop based tools, which means that you don't need to use a single line of code. Everything will be like project placing, pretty much dragging it left and right. Maybe someone saw actually our recent interview with the BGA. So there we presented actually the first version of the drag and drop tools. In the second versions, there will be, of course, terraforming and pretty much changing everything. And V3 is the most interesting one because that's where the game mechanics will come in. So the game mechanics, obviously, you cannot just drag and drop them. However, you have drop-down menus, where you can pretty much select from the first basic, how object, or let's take a character as an example, how a character should behave. Is it just a random NPC? Is it a friend? Is it an enemy? And then you go further from there. Then for example, you pick the enemy, you select the power level, the movements, the weapons, and so on. So, but everything will be as simple as possible just by clicking it. So everyone, non-developers as well, can build actually on the platform.
Yeah, I think it's going to be my first game. I will be the first customer.
That's awesome. I would love to see what people can build, because yeah, I mean, a lot of gaming, you have to go in and code a bunch of stuff. I've never really seen any drag and drop game building, so that's going to be really cool. Does it matter what type of game, whether it's like a 2D, 3D, or voxel, or do you guys cover all those?
Doesn't matter whatsoever. So you're pretty much free to build from 2D to 3D, voxel, pixel art, high poly, low poly. So it's really up to you. Our metaverse will be built in a low poly but realistic style. So
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much just the artwork we picked actually for our metaverse, because it also needs to be scalable and there's a lot of other things that come into that. However, when it comes to the games, since you're accessing the games through either portals or through those retro consoles kind of placed on the metaverse, uh, you don't need to follow those limitations. And on top of that, the avatars will come in different forms and shapes, which means that when you take an avatar, a native one, whenever you go to, for example, from a voxel game to a pixel 2D game, your avatar will just automatically swap for you and take that form actually of that game. So in the beginning, we'll have the most common art styles. Over time, we'll expand more and more. But anyway, even that, won't limit actually the developers to develop a game in whichever style they want.
Nice, nice. And is there any type of, I guess, vetting process that goes into this, or can anyone get on there and develop a game? Like, how do you pick and choose which games you guys decide to launch on your platform?
So we wanted to make it as open and as easy as possible. So there will be no entry barriers for developers, no fees, no nothing for them to start building. The only thing is that we wanted to do is to assure the quality of games on our platform. However, it's not on us to decide that. It's the players actually, our users who should be able to decide that. So this is why everyone who has an avatar, a native one of the platform, kind of a game pass, they'll be able to decide if they like the game or not. So there'll be a process. You deploy your game. It goes into the testing phase where everyone can test out and they can vote on the game. If it gets enough upvotes, all cool. You're getting directly actually listed on the metaverse and becoming part of it, of the ecosystem. If not, it will just remain in that phase, which means that it's not a hard no. It's just like sign to the developer. Look, the community didn't like it that much. Try improving a bit, make it a bit more fun, and it can get revoted again. And if it then passes actually the consensus, it gets listed.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna have a DAO. I believe I was reading that this was your kind of the Planet Emporium, is where people
Exactly.
they'll vote on games and whether it's fun or not. And if it does pass the voting, then they get access to more tools to help further develop their game.
Exactly. So yeah, there will be also some tools and some assets they'll get from that, pretty much just to improve everything, the game development. But also in the beginning, even for the first version, let's call it, there won't be any restrictions whatsoever.
Nice, nice. So yeah, I mean, you'll get to see everything. People will have some really bad games, and there will be some really, really good games that'll come out of it. That'll be
I mean,
cool.
that's the thing, maybe if a game looks bad in our eyes, maybe the community will like it. You never know. Actually, you see a lot of those really simple looking games that got really big and famous. So
Yeah.
it's always better to go to the masses.
Yep, that is true. Now, are you guys also helping these? I guess if someone launches a game, do you guys help them with the process of making, I guess, NFT avatars for the specific game?
Yeah, we will have actually. So we will have tools for avatar creation as well later on. Uh, One other thing that we'll have is for the partnerships we're doing. So every time because obviously we'll have different races in the metaverse.
Yeah.
And every time we will do actually a new race, it won't be just a random race, but we'll go with a bigger partnership and pretty much create the race to reflect the characteristics kind of in a more visual aspect of that project. Just to make it a bit more appealing to the community, and actually, then it's more fun actually for the other side as well, because they got an avatar that's actually based on their project.
Nice. Yeah. And I was also reading about the nanoverse. What is the nanoverse?
Yeah, so the nanoverses are pretty much the games or that's the thing. It's not necessarily limited to a game. So when you go to Metaverse, this is where you get your own space. Let's call it either through a portal or through the console, and that's where you can build. So maybe someone doesn't really necessarily want to build a game. Maybe someone wants just to build a fun world to hang around. Some alien kind of weird looking things. Or I mean, we're already building aliens, so maybe someone has another idea. Um, and this is why actually we call them the nanoverses. Because it's pretty much free, to design it whatever you want. So you, when you're using the tools, you're not actually obliged to build a game. You can actually build just a hangout lounge for your friends.
Awesome. So you guys are developing a platform to help people, build games, but also, a metaverse in which these games will be, like you said, interoperable. So you'll be able to go from people's different lands, no matter what your avatar is, and it'll work in all those different lands, correct?
Exactly. So pretty much every single game that was built using the tools will immediately have the avatars implemented out of the batch. The only exception is for games that migrated over and that just have a totally different art style, that, maybe when you add the avatars, maybe it will look weird. So this is why, we are making some exceptions for these types of games, because we don't want to limit the games, actually.
Yeah. And will you guys be doing like a land sale at all?
Yeah, we will have that as well in the future, but that's pretty much planned far away in the future. So after the launch and so on, it's quite a bit away. But anyway, with your land, you can also use it for all different things. So it's really up to you how you want to use your land, be it for marketing, from just building a art gallery or something like that. I think everyone is pretty much already used to what he can do with land on Metaverse.
Yeah. And like you said, that's far down in the future, so I won't ask many more questions about that. I did want to ask about your guys' NFT launchpad, the Cosmo Pad. What is that going to be?
Yeah, so pretty much it's not the usual NFT launchpad. It will really be used when we have pretty much a bigger partnership and pretty much those really exclusive avatars coming out. So it's not something that will have multiple launches per month. This will be really for the exclusive series, and this will be a way pretty much to also give the advantage to the people who are already part of the ecosystem, either the token holders or the avatar owners, to get actually a head start at getting those new avatars and assets.
Okay, so it'll oh no, go right ahead.
I think it's also a good opportunity for other projects to partner and to launch NFT collections together. So we can, we can leverage one another's communities, and yeah, this is a perfect marketing, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be pre-existing communities that are already, with Cosmic Factions, correct? It's not just going to be like I can't go on there and just launch an NFT if I feel like I want to launch an NFT.
Yeah, that's correct. So it will be more for the partnerships, like Aneta said.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was going to ask, like, how would you go through the process of vetting them and making sure like someone's not launching a rogue project? But if it's already projects that are within the community, then I guess that's kind of the vetting process.
Yeah, so we will have actually, those are really for the exclusive partnership avatars. We will have, I mean, we call them placeholder avatars. It was just we didn't have a better name actually at that point.
Yeah.
But there will be actually other avatar styles where we will actually probably add more freedom to it. So we have a couple of partnerships in the pipeline that will be announced. I sadly cannot disclose them right now, but then you'll get a better idea of the diversity of the other avatars as well. So there will be definitely more possibilities on that side as well.
Okay. And I did want to ask about play to earn. In the very beginning, you mentioned that there were examples, and I do agree. I think a lot of people have been doing play to earn completely wrong. And I wanted to ask you, are you going to be helping some of these Web2 games implement play to earn into their games?
Yeah, definitely. So that's pretty much one of the basics when they deploy their game that will be immediately implemented right off the batch. However, the difference is that this is why we also have the selection process. We don't want it actually to be play to earn. It's more fun, play and earn. So pretty much we're focused on the fun side.
Yeah.
And definitely, so there will be rewards for people playing, but however, the rewards won't be structured just to just can have an NPC, clicking something there and so on, and just making the money and so on, you will need actually really to engage in the game. You need to go, you need to have different achievements and so on. And it's just pretty much has different requirements of one getting that. And of course, the focus is still on the fun aspect. So probably you won't be able to earn like on Axie Infinity like they did in the beginning when they started or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy. It will be really based on the whole ecosystem. So based on how much goes in the ecosystem, that's also the amount that you can expect to get out. So it will be fair distributed towards all game developers and players of the platform, but you cannot expect. We will have some boost in the beginning, obviously, that's normal, but you cannot expect to get more out of the ecosystem that comes into the ecosystem.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, Axie Infinity was all good and everything, and there were people talking about how they're making a living doing it, but it's not a sustainable model, because once people aren't making that living, then they're just not going to play the game. I agree with you. It needs to be fun first, and if you get rewards from it, then that's an extra bonus on top.
Yeah.
And you guys have the star token and also the dust token. If you want to talk about the differences between the two and what people can do with them.
Yep. So pretty much just the star token is the native token of the platform. However, the dust token is actually the in-game token that will be only for in-game usage. So why we implemented actually the dust token? It's just because it's easier to have it distributed among all the games, to have a unique actually token that you can use on multiple games, not only on one. So you can actually earn your tokens on one game, but actually spend them on another game. The dust tokens will be used for everything what's game related, pretty much from items and everything you need actually, like stats, like level improvements in the games. Apologize. And then this is one of the reasons why I implemented the dual token structure, is that you will need to stake your dust tokens if you want to get the star rewards, so the ones with the value. And here we actually implemented some features that will benefit the players a bit. So we will have evaporation phase, which will pretty much, when you stake your tokens on a daily basis, small percentage will evaporate, go back to the whole pool, which will then get distributed to the players and the developers. However, this way also the players getting a small portion back, so making it a bit more fair for them. And one of the main reasons was that if a game in the beginning was really successful and they really earned a lot of dust tokens, they cannot just rely on that, because over time it will evaporate. So the rewards from the game, if they don't keep the game entertaining for the community and they lose the community, the rewards also get smaller and smaller until some point they'll completely stop. So this is also a way to motivate the games. If you have had a huge success, you cannot just rely on that. You still need actually to further develop your game, push out updates, and just keep the community engaged and keep it fun for them in order to remain profitable.
Yeah, so both of these tokens will be implemented across all the games on the platform, correct?
Yeah, so when you're playing and so on, the dust token is your main token. When you go and do things outside the platform, outside the games, still on the platform. When it comes to the marketplace, when it comes to the creators marketplace as well, then when it comes to the Metaverse, which we call Vortal, you will need actually to use the star tokens for that.
Yeah. Do you think it'll affect, is there any way that, I guess, because you mentioned that you could earn dust tokens in one game and then go to another game and spend them in that game, correct?
Yeah.
Do you think there's any way people will be able to, I guess, manipulate that system? Maybe like there's a game that is easy to farm dust tokens, but they never spend the dust tokens in that game and they just go to like the popular game to spend it there?
Yeah, so that's the thing, since we'll have actually, if you remember in the beginning, I mentioned actually when you're deploying, you're getting straight of the, let's call it the basic pack. So those are the implementation that will check actually active time spent in the game, achievements, and so on, just making sure that you don't have NPCs running around, which will bring actually the same effort to farming, let's call it the dust tokens for every single game. So there will be really no advantage and no reason for the people to just randomly play one game that doesn't make fun in order to spend their tokens in the game that makes fun. So it's better for them to just play the game that makes fun for them, that they like playing, and farming the tokens to reuse them actually in the game.
Okay, nice. And I did want to ask about your guys's your factions that you have. You have one that's coming up called the Descended, correct?
Yeah, but that's still not announced actually.
Oh, it's not. I saw on the website that the
Oh yeah, we have a teaser actually. Yeah. I
there's
just
a teaser
so
for it.
that's there's a teaser on the website. So pretty much that will be one of the big partnerships we mentioned, where we will have a whole faction created for them. So that's actually one of those that is coming up.
That was a
Okay.
small teaser. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
All
So
right.
you
And
can kind of already can see what you could expect.
yeah. And will they be creating a game on your guys' platform?
So not that we know about, because the project we're partnering with is actually a blockchain solution, so it's not really too game related. However, it's one of the partners that we need, and it's probably one of our biggest partners.
Awesome. Nice. Well, where can people in the chat, where can they get information on this upcoming drop? And I guess when, can they expect some information on it?
Yeah, so we do plan actually first to go live with our beta before we launch actually any factions. So the plan is actually end of the year, December, eventually January, to have the beta out. So that will be the public beta where everyone can really go, start building, start playing. And that's actually shortly after that we'll announce the faction.
All right. All right. So early beta, hopefully by the end of the year. I did want to ask, as you guys being the platform, I know Epic Games and Steam platforms like that, they obviously they take a cut of like in-game items and purchases. What do you guys get for being the platform that people are building on?
Yeah, so let me start first with the items. So we will have, because yeah, maybe there's two different topics, so let me maybe just expand it a bit. We'll have the creators marketplace as well, where
Mm-hmm.
people, or actually game asset designers, can go and design their assets. So on that marketplace, actually, the cut that we're taking is really small. Like, please don't quote me on this. I can't remember the exact number, but I think it was something like 5%. So
Yeah.
pretty much all the designers, everything that they're building, and pretty much putting it available for the game developers to use them on their games. 95% will go actually to the artists who created those. This is just to put it in comparison. On the Unity store, they're taking, I think, a 30% cut of all the assets that are sold on the Unity asset store.
Oh, wow.
Um, on the other side, so now all the other things that will be on Cosmic Factions available, so pretty much from the assets, from the land sales, from pretty much everything that's happening, also from the activities and so on, it will be splitted. So 50% will always go back completely to the players, to the users, and get redistributed among all of them. The rest will be splitted in three parts, of which the largest one will be actually incentivized for projects to build actually games. So those will be more in form of grants and things that are again going back to the builders that are building on the metaverse. And of course, the rest of it, so around 25% of it, will of course go for marketing and the company.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And, you mentioned that there's going to be a marketplace where people can buy, I guess, pre-built stuff essentially for their game. And we have a lot of sandbox builders that are part of our community, watch our stream. If they were wanting to get into, building assets for your metaverse and your game, I guess where would they go? Would this be on the beta, or do you guys only sign up specific people that build assets? Where would they go to do this?
So it will be open for everyone. It won't be available immediately on the beta, but it will be shortly after the beta available, because actually we need those assets actually also on the beta. So it's open to everyone. So you can pretty much go, you can build your assets, you can put them for sale there. The developers, when they're coming, we don't have any standard prices or something like that. So actually the creator can decide freely how much he wants to ask actually for his asset that he created. And the game developers will be pretty much able to pick that up. So we can call those prefabs pretty much, and it will be pretty similar, like you have the Unity asset store. Just in our case, obviously, you'll need to make them actually as NFT. So that's also where we have actually an NFT marketplace where where the developers will go and pretty much pick them up. So it's
Yeah.
not like you're classic marketplace, it will be really dedicated only to assets. So you cannot just list a random picture or something like that. That's no game utility or something like that.
Yeah. And do you guys plan on ever doing any competitions for the community? Like, you give a specific asset and you tell everyone, like, we're going to run a competition. Whoever can build the best one, we'll list on the marketplace.
Oh, definitely. So we will do actually devlogs. We will do actually also competitions for best builders, best visual designs, and so on. So that's definitely in the pipeline.
Awesome.
Oh,
Awesome.
and one important thing to mention as well, since we don't have any limitations on the games, there's also no limitations on which art style they're using for the asset store as well. So it's pretty much totally free, totally open.
All right. All right. Well, anyone watching that is a builder, make sure you guys, follow them on Twitter, join the Discord. Medium articles posted there. You guys can read some stuff in the Medium article. I did want to ask, I never asked, what's like the primary blockchain that you guys are building on top of?
Yeah, so we will start with NFTs cross-chain immediately from the beginning, just because our avatars will also have utility on external platforms. So this means that when you have an avatar from Cosmic Factions, you're not only tied to Cosmic Factions, actually, you will be able to use it on other, in the beginning, partner projects and metaverses, but obviously we'll expand that more and more in the future. So in terms of avatars, they'll be fully actually cross-chain. In terms of the chain we're building on, so we're starting with the Elrond chain. That will be our initial one, so the platform. However, we do have plans to add cross-chain to the platform as well. This is just coming a bit later. It's easier to do cross-chain NFTs than doing a cross-chain platform. So
Yeah.
that's a bit more complex. So this is why after we finish the full setup and the full platform is live, that's actually when we'll start implementing also on the platform other chains.
Okay, awesome. And so, there's potential, I guess, for your guys' avatars to be able to be used in, say, the Sandbox or Decentraland, correct?
Exactly. So definitely, because like I mentioned, the avatars will have different shapes and forms. So we'll have also a voxel art version of them. We'll have a low poly version of them. So pretty much you can directly use them there. One other thing that's important is because obviously Sandbox and Decentraland, they're obviously building on also different engines. So
Yeah.
and we're building on the Godot engine. So this is why our avatars will be actually designed for multiple engines to be used to be compatible with. This means that the big three will be straight away compatible. So this means Unity, Unreal, and Godot. We might add other engines in the future, but this really depends on the demand because obviously it's an extra step. And if there's really no other games that are built on those engines, there's no need to have them on those as well. But the three ones, actually, the big ones, they will be supported.
Nice, nice. Yeah, you guys are cross-chain, cross-platform, cross-engine. That's really what the metaverse is. You have to have interoperability because no one wants to buy an asset that they can't use in other places on the internet. So it's really interesting that you guys are doing that. I can't wait to try out the beta and see what junk I can build because I'm not a builder, but I'll definitely give it a try. Yeah, I did want to ask, about some of your guys' partnerships. There's some of them that you said you didn't want to announce yet. I mean, we love hearing alpha on the show, but are there any current partnerships that you guys have that you can share?
Yeah, definitely. So we have actually partnerships with the Milk platform, which is another metaverse, which is a metaverse that is not using any native avatars. So I mean, it's then self-explanatory why the partnership makes sense
Yeah.
for us. We have the partnership with the Real Metaverse. That's also on the cross avatar side. We have then a partnership with Legends of Elysium, which pretty much we're trying to do actually a crossover because the game styles actually we're having is a bit different. So we're still figuring out. Actually, we had some cool ideas throwing left and right. So it will be probably end up like in secondary characters that you can have like a pet or something like that. Pretty much, FOMO Chronicles is the manga extension to the worlds and the different avatars. So you won't only get a story to read. Actually, we'll always combine it with the manga as well. Um, so yeah, Star Protocol is important one because they're actually a partner on the interoperable side of the NFTs, which means that they're also what they're doing is they're also creating interoperable NFTs for different platforms. So
Yeah.
this is why, of course, we'll do that also in-house, but it's also important for us to have strong partners there just to cover as much as possible different platforms. And Style Protocol was the first one. On that side, there's actually another one coming up soon.
Nice, nice. And then I think your most recent one was the Blockchain Game Alliance, which I did check out the interview that you guys did over there.
Yeah, so actually we were just a bit late to publish it on our website.
Yeah, but awesome. A lot of partnerships, a lot of stuff in the works. You know, I never really asked about the Vortal. I know we talked about portals and stuff. You know, what is Vortal?
Yeah, so Vortal is actually the name of our metaverse.
Okay.
That's actually your starting point. So when you come to the game, like I mentioned, we're using their low poly art, but actually high realistic low poly, so as realistic as it can be. And Vortal is your starting point. So from Vortal, then you can pretty much go to different events. You can pretty much build your galleries. You can meet up with friends. One cool thing that we want to do is actually incentivize people to create their guilds actually on Vortal, and guilds in a traditional way. Because I know everyone knows the Web3 guilds right now, but also the traditional one, because usually people would only write in the past. So this way you can kind of have a pub or something like that, like a tavern, where you can meet up and you can really have your space for your guild.
Yeah.
Which we thought it's a cool idea. And then Vortal is the place where you have all the access to the different games. So you'll have the different portals there. You'll have the different consoles. You can just go to it. You can just jump in a different game, in a different world, or if you don't really want to walk around, to the next game, there will be a option, of course, to just to just select where you want to go to.
Nice. So yeah, this is going to be like the central great. This is going to be like Grand Central Station, essentially, where people can go from game to game. And yeah, I mean, that's going to be amazing to see. It makes me think of Ready Player One and Wreck-It Ralph. I always think of Wreck-It Ralph when I think of like metaverses and stuff. How all the different arcade games meet in the center and they go from game to game.
Exactly. So it's something similar to that, actually.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think if there's anything, that you guys have coming up that you would like to, kind of promote to the chat right now, things that people should be on the lookout for, what you guys are currently building and what's going to be, I guess, your guys' next release.
Yeah, so like I said, right now the public beta is in the work. So that's definitely the next big thing that will come out. We do actually, because we didn't really publish anything from our platform, our demos so far. We did show it already in different podcasts and so on.
Yeah.
So there's definitely actually a second version coming out right now, which will be really breaking down what's already there, what's already developed, which are the V1 of the drag and drop tools, which means the objects, which is pretty much already overlook of the metaverse, and which is the first game ports that are already implemented. We just tested them now for the 2D games. The 3D ports are actually in the works, and the VR part as well. So everything what I mentioned just plus in VR as well. Although in VR we don't have the drag and drop tools ready, so not even V1. That will come a bit later, which I'm really excited about because it's one thing to go with the mouse around and click it, and it's a totally other thing when you're there, where you can see it. You have your pretty much directly aim with your hands and put it where you want. So I think that will be really cool
Yeah.
once we have it done. So that's what's in the works right now. And the next thing is that we will be in October on the 27th, actually, at the European Metaverse Awards. So if someone is around, you can meet there. We're actually one of the finalists there. So if someone is there, we can actually meet up there.
Where is that taking place at?
It's in Berlin, in Germany.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, best of luck. Your final. Well, I guess you'll find out if you win there at the show.
Exactly. So we'll find out there.
All right. Well, best of luck. Like I said, if anyone in chat is in Germany or going to be attending those awards, let them know that you're from the Sand Fam. I think that we've covered pretty much everything. I'm really, like I said, I'm excited to see your guys' platform launch and, like I said, get in there on the beta and test some things out to see what I could do. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming on the show today.
Thank you a lot. Thank you for having us.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having us today.
Thank you guys to everyone watching the stream. I hope everyone has a great weekend. We'll be live again on Monday, same time, I believe 1 o'clock Eastern now. I think we're switching our time. Don't quote me on that. You'll have to ask Slater Raid. But thank you guys very much for watching, and Cosmic Faction. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Have a good one.